Okay, now let's kind of jump on directly into understanding what is this fundamental analysis and how should you kind of use this knowledge in selecting a particular stock to trade in or invest in. So let's kind of jump there directly and kind of understand what this fundamental analysis is really about. So we kind of broadly understood that fundamental analysis is something which is the top-down approach, right from first you have to start with economy, industry, sector, so on and so forth, and then pick up the few set of companies. And once you have picked up few set of companies, now whether, say for example, you picked up cement as a companies, right? Now within that there are like tens of companies, cement manufacturing companies which are traded in the market. So which one do you trade in? How do you approach that? What are the methodology to kind of do that, right? So if you want to kind of really do that, we could kind of do that. So let's kind of follow this here, and you can use the same methodology to kind of do it. Having said this, be aware that fundamental analysis is a very, very detailed and elaborate process. It takes a lot of time and it involves a lot of research as well. So you got to have those skills of understanding all of that, and second, more importantly, the skill of researching, right, and kind of going through those various variables. So what are those variables? There are many variables which impact fundamental analysis, many variables which impact a company. Now you will have to be able to understand all those variables, analyze that and see, oh, this is what each of these variables really mean. That is what you have to kind of be able to understand, right? So now what are these variables? Let's kind of quickly kind of list down few of those variables. There are 40 plus variables to be precise, but let me kind of list down few of them. So for example, management. What does it mean? What is the management? Who are the people who are running that company? What are their background? How good they are? How deep they are in that particular subject? If say for example, the person who's running the organization, company, like maybe the CEO, is the CEO, if you are analyzing a cement company, is the CEO having the background of cements, having the background of understanding the market in cement industry, so on and so forth. So that is the first thing, right? Then financials. What does the financials of this company say? What does the balance sheet say? What does the income statement say? How are they performing over quarter by quarter? How has their performance been over the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, right? Understand the entire financials. Financials includes income statement, cash flow, fund flow, balance sheet, their assets, and various other components, including even ratios as well. Then you got to study about market capitalization. We kind of briefly understood what is market capitalization. So how is that market capitalization? Where do they really fit in? Then what are their products and services? Are they manufacturing only cement, or within that cement do they have multiple categories of cement, and are they leaders in that, right? Along with cement, do they also provide something more which is allied to that, so that the customer's base is larger, or they've gone deep into the cement, right? So that way you got to understand all their product and services. Then industry, the cement industry. How does cement industry per se work? What are the challenges of that cement industry? What are the opportunities in that cement industry? What are the threats of that cement industry, right? You got to kind of understand that. Then technology. How is the technology impacting this particular company? Has this company enhanced their technology so far, right? And then what is the way forward? How are they kind of really looking at that technology? So how is the technology impacting them? Right? Have they upgraded their technology with respect to providing the best quality of cement, as the case may be, or are they lagging behind? What are their competitors doing? Have their competitors moved ahead? That's very, very important, because today is the age of technology. If you're not upgraded to the technology level, then the company may not even survive going forward, right? So how are they doing that? Then next is what are the laws of the land in which they are operating? Is there any specific laws pertaining to them? For example, if it's a pharma company, there are a lot of laws which one has to kind of follow before they launch their product or even run their product, right? So do you understand those things? What if there is some law which may kind of prohibit this company to continue some of their products and services, right? So you got to be aware of that. Then followed by all the other regulations, the industry specific regulations. Like IT industries has some regulations, right? Manufacturing have a lot of regulations. If it's a chemical manufacturing company, it has got lot of regulations. Food, anything to do with food, heavy sets of regulations. Now, does this company adhere to all of those things? What are the new sets of regulations coming in, and the product which they are launching, is it going to adhere to that, right? All of that is something which you have to be aware of. Then what is the geopolitical situation and scenario in that particular country, if you are looking at a global scenario, or if a company which has got operations outside of India as well. For example, if it's an IT technology company, IT company, right, you have to be aware of what is the geopolitical situation in the Americas, in the Europe, because if this company is exporting most of their services there, providing this technology services to the clients in Americas, and if there is some rules and regulations which prohibit them, then the whole business is kind of gone, right? So how does that impact? So you got to kind of think through that. Then seasonality, is this a seasonality based company? The product and services which it does, how does that kind of work? Like for example, if it's a paint manufacturing company, right, typically during rainy seasons the sales are lesser. Summers maybe it's better. So how does that impact? So you got to kind of look at that. Then what are their competitions doing? How are they doing? What are the innovations these companies are bringing in? Are they kind of up to the level going? For example, if it's automobile industry, today everybody have already moved into electric vehicles. Are they also in that league, and are they kind of looking at those new age, new ways of doing things, new set of vehicles, to launch? If they're still sticking to the old kind of fuel, maybe 5 years that company is gone. It's said that in the next 5 to 10 years, you will not see any petrol or diesel vehicles on the road, especially the passenger vehicles, right? It's all going to be electric based. So if that is the case, now the company which you are kind of wanting to invest in, does it have those capabilities of innovating? Right? Or it's going to go completely down. Like we had the good old days, we had the Ambassador car, right, which was owned and manufactured by the government. And what did they do? Zero innovation. And we know what happened to that. One of the very beautiful cars, right? I grew up when when I was growing up, I kind of traveled in that. We had an Ambassador car in those days. It was extremely sturdy, right? But now it did not get into any innovation, and today it's totally vanished from the market. That's what it happens, right? Then what are the kind of customers, and do they have a wide base of customers? How do those customers think? Are they very unique customers? Are they B2B or B2C? What kind of customers, and how do they really kind of do? And what are all their policies? The company policies, the applicable legal policies, applicable statutory policies, how do they follow that? And then what is the vision of the company? Does the company even have a vision? Does it have a 5-year vision, 10-year vision, a long-term vision? What do they plan to do over X number of years? And how do they kind of address all of that? So now all of these study combined is called as fundamental analysis. So now if you want to use fundamental analysis in its true sense, you got to be able to understand all of this. So now I, as a chartered accountant, I'm extremely good in financials and maybe to some extent laws of the land and regulations. Now when it comes to other aspects, and I have very limited knowledge. Maybe if it is an IT company, maybe even product and services of an ITES company, I can kind of understand because I've worked there in the past. Now if it is a company which is a cement manufacturing company and I have to invest and I have to use fundamental analysis, I will depend only on its financials. All other component of it I will not even understand because I don't come from that background. So what will I have to do? I have to depend on a specialist who can kind of give me that input. So that way, a fundamental analysis requires multiple input and multiple variables from many sources for you to do it. So there are companies which provide fundamental analysis. So either you have to kind of subscribe to their services, or part of it you learn. And then take those reports on a consistent basis, like monthly reports, weekly reports, or quarterly reports, and consistently read that and then see those companies in which you have invested, what are they doing, and is it worth continuing to hold on to it, or should you shift your investment? So that is very, very important, and this is called as fundamental analysis. Hope you kind of enjoyed this, right? It's a very, very interesting concept where if you keep your eyes and ears really open and kind of look at all of those things, you'll get to understand the fundamental analysis very, very deeply. So if you kind of enjoyed this, type in the comment fundamental analysis, type in the comment fundamental analysis, and I'll see you in the next video where we will talk about how technical analysis is done and what is that really. See you in my next video.